Hey, it's time to get your geek on with 2SkeGEEKS. And it's your boy Will Call. Welcome back, and I'm glad to be with you this morning. I'm gonna try to do a quick shorty based upon movie trailers. But just in this case, just one movie trailer, Secret Invasion. For those friends of mine who were in my like texting chain, shout outs to folks all across the United States that are in that chain. But hey, we are trying to talk about today Secret Invasion. That trailer is pretty doggone boss with Nick Fury and Maria Hill and the folks from Shield, and their I guess their ability to combat the Skrulls. And I'm pretty excited. Of course, it's espionage and things of that nature, but uh, I'm pretty excited and hype about that movie coming out. And no, I said take that back. It's not a movie. It's a show that'll be out on Disney Plus. I'm sorry about that correction. A show on Disney Plus. And so I want to get this show started. This show, not a movie, started with you with 2SkeGEEKS. And first book up to bat is this one here, Secret Invasion. It's a one shot. Who do you trust? And it's a pretty cool book. And I believe this comes later on in the series, but this is a one shot. Who do you trust? Now, point of helping you when you buy books, and this is a book I bought off the shelf probably in the early 2000s, but I didn't pay attention to it. So make sure when you buy your books that you don't get any damage like this in the corner here. It looks like someone dropped it. It looks like it was dropped. I didn't drop it, but it's been bagged and boarded that way for years. Sadly, that will never garnish a 9.8. I will have to try to replenish this book at another time. But make sure when you buy your books that you check those corners and spines and edges and corners and things of that nature for damages before you buy them. I sadly overlooked that on the day that I bought this book, and I have a permanently damaged book. Regardless of moving through with Secret Invasion. So this is Secret Invasion number 1. Again, these stories were written by Brian Michael Bendis back in the day. And I am looking forward to, you know what? I never really read all of these books. This is a time when I was getting ready to leave the United States for a little while. And so I didn't make the time to read these books. I meant to read them while I was overseas, but I didn't get a chance to do that while I was in Korea. But regardless of, this is Secret Invasion number 1. Let's make this quick. Secret Invasion number 2. All righty. Number 3. Really beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. Really like this one. And this is really cool too. Secret Invasion number 4. Number 5. These covers are just tight. They did it well. They weren't playing around when they did these covers. Number 6. Number 7. And sadly, I don't have number 8 of 8. Crazy enough, that's one I got to fix too. But regardless of course, Secret Invasion spilled out through the Avengers titles. And so what I'll do with you right now is just share some Avengers books that went into not just the Secret Invasion, Secret Invasion title itself, but the Avengers as well. So this is Mighty Avengers number 6. Throw back to an old Avengers title cover. It's an homage cover. Another homage cover. And that was Mighty Avengers number 16. I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize for that. Am I right? No, 15, 1-5. 15. Doggone my eyes. Anyway, number 15, 16. And that's crazy. I love these homages, these homage covers. Number 17. $18. 19. And 20. All right. So that wraps up the Secret Invasion books that I have. And of course, as I said before, there are books that I will try to fill in the gaps, because it looks like even in the Mighty Avengers books, that between the gap of number 12 and 15, I'm missing a few books that I need to fill in the gaps. I might even have them in the archives. Those are books, the books I just showed you were books I bought at the Baltimore Comic-Con this past fall. And but I'm looking forward to showing you some of the other books that I most likely have in the archives and fill in those gaps and show them to you. Maybe I may even have number 8 of 8. But to get ready to wrap this up, we talk about the things that I've read and I think that were pretty cool to read. And so that while I was on the plane going to San Antonio last week, this is one that I read, this archive edition of All-Star Comics. So this is the first, and this is like a graphic novel, literally a novel, hardback novel. It's a little pricey. You might be able to find it at a second chance or half-price bookstore or an archival bookstore. But regardless of that, this is the first gathering of the individual Golden Age superheroes from DC. And so what you have on the cover is you got, of course, Dr. Fate, the Atom, the Green Lantern, Hawkman, the Spectre, Flash, and Hourman back there, and Sandman as well. I'm sorry, I almost overlooked Sandman. But those characters, typically back in the day, as I was reading the history of this, you would typically get, they were sold in individual books back in the day. And this, what we're holding, is the first time the concept of bringing them all together as one super team. And yeah, so previously they were all in their own individual books of All-Star Comics, which was the title of the books, but they decided to bring them together. And so this is a consolidation of these books right here. This book that I'm holding is the consolidation of these 4 titles or these 4 covers here. Now, all those individual books now are so doggone expensive. You're going to have to maybe pay for a small used car in order to get these nowadays, but or old used car to buy those books individually. But I found it to be a fun read. I think the Dr. Fate story was pretty good individually. And I also believe the Hourman story was actually pretty good as well. And the artwork in Hawkman was just exquisite. It was beautiful. Let's see. I'm going to switch cameras and show you some of the artwork for the Hawkman that I'm talking and referring to. I must say, it is quite lovely. And I think, hook that up. I didn't realize I didn't have that together. So this is some of the artwork from the Hawkman book story. Just exquisite. I will give credit where it's due. Beautiful stuff. I'd have to figure out who the artist was back in the day, in the 30s or 40s, probably the 40s, when this was done. But just plain beautiful artwork. Yeah, those inks and lines are just they're incredible. I have to give them credit on Hawkman. And as you can see at the bottom, this is literally out of the comic book. So these books were literally, or this first story was a commercial, and I mean literally a commercial to sell the team book. So they were bringing all these different characters together, uh, and literally like they knew their own sales on the newsstand, and they're talking about their sales on the newsstand as if these characters are real people with real stories. It is hilarious how they wrote this, but regardless of the absurdity of how they told these stories, and especially here with the Flash underwater uh, talking. It's funny. Some of these things are just too hilarious. But regardless of that, it's still pretty fun to see how people thought about things back in the day. And as I said, the Spectre story was pretty good. Mildly absurd too, but still pretty cool. And the Hour Man story was really great. It was really well put together as well. Um, and then you got what was the other story? The Sandman was really well done as well. So I enjoyed reading through some of these while I was on the plane. The Dr. Fate story was excellent. I think that and the Hawkman story were the two best stories that I read. And so do yourself a favor if you can and make the time to find this All-Star Comics archive editions, and you'll enjoy the read like I did. And then you also get a chance to enjoy the old way of storytelling and writing, and of course the art. Again, there's some comedy in it as well, because it was kind of very lighthearted and somewhat geared towards kids, but then some of the stories were not. And so I'm going to get ready to wrap up this show. As I said, I was going to make this one quick. And because we're talking about some of the movie trailers that have come out, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our show. Please hit that like button, and please hit that subscribe so that way you can know when our shows are coming out too, and when we post a show for you. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad we can help you get your geek on. Join us soon. 2SkeGEEKS. Will Call is out.